Welcome back to Mr. Hussein's chemistry class. Today we are going to discuss and explore ions and different kind of ions. Before we get into the details, let's define an ion. An ion is a charged atom. When an atom gets a charge, it is called ion. This charge may be positive, this charge may be negative. What happens when it has positive charge? What happens when it gets negative charge? Okay? I would try to keep it simple so that you can get it, you can understand it, and it can ignite an intrinsic motivation inside you. Ions, when atoms lose or gain electrons, atoms get charged and ions are formed. These ions are of two types. First one, cation. What are cations? When electrons are lost by atom, ions formed are called cations. Cations are formed by metals. Why in metals? Because atoms of the metallic elements have relatively weak attractions for their electrons. So they tend to lose electrons and form cations. What happens when they have negative charge? They are called anions. When atoms gain electrons, ions formed are known as anions. Anions are formed by nonmetals. Why in nonmetals? Because nonmetals have an ability to attract electron because they have relatively strong attractions for electrons. So they tend to gain electrons and form monoatomic anions. Anions composed of one atom are called monoatomic. Monoatomic. Here you see monoatomic means mono means one. One types of atom. So one type of atom have positive charge called cations. One atom has negative charge, they make anions. Before we proceed, let me recap what we have talked about so far. Ions, charged atom. How they get charged? By losing or gaining electron. Ions are of two types. Cation. Cation have positive charge formed by metals. Metals are found on the left side of the periodic table. Second form, second type, anion. They have negative charge and they are formed by nonmetals. Let me give you few more examples. First, cation. Sodium is a metal. Sodium lost one electron. Sodium get a charge of +1. Calcium is a metal. Calcium lost 2 electrons. Charge is +2. Positive charge, how much? Equal to number of electron lost. Aluminum is metal. Lost 3 electron. +3. Now, in anions, chlorine is a non-metal, gained 1 electron. Sulfur gained 2 electron. Nitrogen gained 3 electron. Charge is -3. If there is no number, for example, if I say Cl minus, it means it's 1. Okay? Cations, anions, both are formed by monoatomic. It means one atom is involved. And one more thing at this point, I want to bring to your knowledge. When metallic and non-metallic atoms combine, they usually form ions and ionic bond. How? Sodium lost one electron plus one. This electron is welcomed at chlorine minus one. This is cation. This is anion. When both reacted, when they both met, they made a bond. They are friends now, and they form a bond named as NaCl. This type of bond is called ionic bond. So ionic bond is formed by cation and anions. We will talk in details when we get to bonding down the road. Let's proceed now. Why atoms lose or gain electron? Because they want to have 8 electrons in their outermost energy level. Because when they have 8, they would be like noble gas. What are noble gases? Group 18. Group 18 have 8 electrons in their outermost, so they are stable. They don't need to lose, they don't need to gain. Because when they have 8 electrons in the outermost, they are considered as stable. Sodium had 11 electrons. First one got 2, second one got 8, 2 plus 8, 10, 11th electron in the third shell. Sodium tends to have 8 electrons. What should sodium do? Sodium should find 7 more electrons or lose this electron. So sodium chose to lose this electron. And sodium got plus 1 charge. After losing this electron, how many electrons sodium has in the outermost? Now it has 8. Stable? Chlorine. Chlorine, first one 2, second one 8, third one got 7. It has 7 electrons, needs one more to make it 8. Electrons lost by sodium is received over here, and chlorine becomes negative. After gaining 1 electron, chlorine has 8 in their outermost, both are stable. This is cation, this is anion, both react and they make ionic bond. Clear? Okay. Now, those two types. At this point, we know cations, anions. Now, another term you need to know. Monoatomic. Mono in science always means one. Monoatomic ions are the ions which are made by one atom or one type of atom. Anions, remember, the one with the negative charge. Hydride comes from hydrogen. Nitrite comes from nitrogen. Phosphide, when phosphorus gains 3 electrons. Oxide, when oxygen gains 2 electrons. Sulfide, when sulfur gains 2 electrons. Selenide, it gained 2 electrons coming from selenium. Fluoride coming from fluorine. What do you notice in these names? When they have negative charge, their last 3 letters are replaced by IDE. Chlorine becomes chloride. Fluorine becomes Fluoride. Same way, hydrogen, last three letter IDE. So anions, when they are monoatomic, their name ends with IDE. Last three letter of the name of the element are replaced by IDE. What happens when these monoatomic ions got positive charge? What we call them cations. They are formed by metal. Sodium plus one we just discussed. Their name remains same, sodium ions. We will not replace any letter. Calcium remains calcium. Magnesium, aluminum, carbon. Okay, let's proceed now. Look at this periodic table. This periodic table is showing all monoatomic ions, cations, and anions as well. Remember, metals left side. So see left side all are positive. Right side you see all are negative. So these are anions, these are cations. Both of them are monoatomic. Now, another types of ions. They are called polyatomic ions. Mono means one, poly means more than one. Polyatomic ions, some anions and cations contain more than one atom. Polyatomic ions, a group of ions, a charged collection of atoms held together by covalent bond. What are covalent bond? We will talk when we get into bonding lesson. And you have to wait a little bit, but we will talk in detail when we get there. It involves both type of bond, ionic covalent. For example, it's possible for a nitrogen atom to form covalent bonds to four hydrogen atoms, but to make this possible, the nitrogen atom has to lose an electron, giving the collection of atoms a plus one charge. This will be explained in more details in a later session. This collection of atoms with the formula NH4 is called the ammonium ions. Let me give you some example of polyatomic ions. Remember, there are more than this list. You can go any search engine, Google, or and type in polyatomic ions chart, and you can download it, you can print it, and keep it with you all the time, like you keep periodic table, so that you can use in every lecture, in every lesson, in every test. Okay, first one NH4. See there, it is made up of nitrogen and hydrogen, more than one. So it's polyatomic. Its name is ammonium. We will not call it nitrogen. We will not call hydrogen now. Their new name is ammonia. NO3, nitrogen and oxygen. What we call it nitrate. And remember one thing. This number is number of atom of hydrogen. But charge is on the top like superscript. NO3. NO3 is this 3 is number of oxygen minus charge. CO3, their new name is carbonate, not carbon, not oxygen. It's made up of both. So this is polyatomic ions. Okay, few more example. OH, made up of hydrogen and oxygen, we call it hydroxide. No number, it means charge is minus 1. PO4, minus 3. Phosphate. C2H3O2. Now its name is acetate. ClO3 minus 1. Its name is chlorate. Now polyatomic ions, when they come with hydrogen or oxygen, what happens? Now look at the first one, HCO3. You see now it has oxygen in it. When there is oxygen in it, its name ends with either ITE or ATE. 8, alright. SO4, sulfate. Hydrogen is with it, so we will call the hydrogen full name hydrogen sulfate, hydrogen sulfide. But remember that HS doesn't have oxygen, therefore its name is still ending with ID. But wherever you see oxygen, name ending with ATE. Oxygen, ATE. Oxygen, ATE, acetate, chlorate. Oxygen. Now, one more thing, SO4. What is the name of this polyatomic ion? Sulfate. SO3. Now oxygen is less, we will call it sulfite. So if less oxygen, we call it sulfite, name ending with ITE, ATE. When we will talk about bonding and then we would study the nomenclature, how we name the compounds, then we will discuss in details. Right now, I just gave you some heads up so that you know. That's all. That's very brief story about monoatomic and polyatomic ions. If you come up with any question, don't hesitate to ask me below the video in the comment section. If you like the video, please share with others. Also, don't forget to like. If you haven't subscribed our channel yet, please do so now. And don't forget to click on bell icon so that you can get all video notification on time. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.